Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Takedown with your host, Craig.
The nipple conversation threw me.
John.
I am not going to get a picture of you tattooed anywhere on me, ever, for any bet.
What do I do with my teenage boy self?
And Jeff the Ref.
Schedule be damned. Don't make me DQ.
Let's get it on.
Episode 8, folks. This is John. I am here with Craig and Jeff. The question last week was, will John make it? The answer is yes. I'm going to have to find some new loves, some new ways to get through my life. But other than that, I'm doing all right, guys. Doing all right. I mean, if you know anything about me, Craig, you can validate this. I do feel the world is against me because not only is Becky pregnant with some other man's child, but Betty and Jughead broke up in real life.
I know it's a hard time. It's rough. It's hard for all of us to get through. But I'm glad to see that you're persevering, John. I really, really am.
If the world is going to hate me, I'm just going to hate it back.
God. Such a little bitch.
Episode 8, guys. We are excited. We've got Double or Nothing to talk about, right, fellas?
Yep, sure do.
Dabble in the weak world of entertainment. Oh, no, wait. It's the world wrestling entertainment. We'll dabble in the silliness that's going on with them lately. And I don't know. We should just get into it. What do you want to do?
We also have a little special surprise about halfway through the episode.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah. Because
you might want to know about that.
We're big time podcasters and we're super famous. And because of all that, we get to interview big time talent wrestlers. Like the Cheeseburger.
Yeah. That was a good show.
Jason Wilson Experience. That was good.
Yeah. That was, well, it was good in the fact that we did the show, but Jason Wilson Experience can be a little trifling because he's not a nice guy.
All true. All true.
So.
He is a big, major heel. But this time we got a face. A pretty big face. A face that one would dream about.
Probably one of the biggest in the business right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why yo boys.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, John.
Jeff, who'd you talk to this week?
It was a big time. I think he has EVP after his name.
Craig.
Yeah.
Who'd you talk to this week?
This week, I talked to Cody Rhodes.
Jeff, who'd you talk to this week?
Hey, I talked to Cody Rhodes too.
Cody Rhodes talked to me.
That's right. New friend of the show, Cody Rhodes, the Executive Vice President of AEW, the current TNT Champion, which we will get into when we discuss Double or Nothing, the American Nightmare himself, is on the T3 podcast. You're welcome.
Yeah. And we didn't even have to use chloroform or threats of violence. He came on willingly.
Willingly. And that's why we're going to have our interview with him later on this episode, because we're going to make you wait for it. But it is going to be on our feed. It's going to be on our YouTube channel, so you got to make sure you go to that. Just like you got to follow all our socials, such as at T3 Network on Twitter, T3 Network on Facebook, Instagram, even on TikTok now, because we're cool. You can email us. We're dropping videos. Man, we awesome. Email us, tripletbag@gmail.com, or call our hotline, 202-556-4433, and you can find us on there. But, again, make sure you go to our YouTube, because we're going to have the video up of this amazing interview. But we have other things to get into first, boys. Do we want to talk about anything with WWE?
Yeah, we might as well get some stuff out of the way.
We've got a new USA champion.
Yeah, Apollo Crews.
I'm fine with that.
I'm happy about that.
Yeah. Long coming, well-deserved, 11 years in the business. Yeah. And he finally got something for it, so that's good.
And this is after Vince pretty much wrote him off.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be a long-standing champion, but it's nice to have him there.
Do you think Vince knows who he is?
I don't know, but our show has been a long proponent of Apollo Crews. We always thought he was better than they gave him credit for.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100% better. So I'm glad he's getting some recognition. Hopefully it'll be a nice little run for him. not too short-lived, but we want something to come from it.
You guys remember that guy Drake Maverick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the one who got fired?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, apparently he's in the finals for the 205 belt.
Yeah, the cruiserweight. So was this all the work? Is that what we've decided?
Yeah.
How does that work? How do you get fired and still work?
Well, it's kind of like Drew Gulak got released, but then it's still on the payroll as a full-time.
Right. He went from former wrestler to back to the current roster in the span of like a week on their website.
Speaking of signing, re-signing kind of thing, Adam Cole's contract is coming up.
It is.
Do you guys think he stays? He's never going to be called up. He's just going to be remembered as an NXT superstar.
It's been all over the internet.
Yeah, but I want to get your opinion on it.
Well, whether he stays or goes, and then there was pictures of him at Cody Rhodes' like barbecue thing that he did. But I mean, his fiance or wife or whoever she is worked for that company. So
right, exactly.
And they're going to go.
And
hang
Vince
out
wasn't
together.
throwing any parties. So.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you go to AEW and make a lot more money?
Would he though?
Or do you stay where you're at and keep doing what you're doing?
I mean, he's top of his business and his brand.
He is, and he's the longest reigning NXT champion, but at some point, they're going to take it off of him.
And now, wrestlers hanging out with wrestlers, I don't care what company you work for or what brand you're on. Look, it's like if you sell Coke or Pepsi, you can still be friends.
Right, exactly. You know? And I mean, like for me personally, I don't. That's true. We're not. None of us are friends. We all have to work together.
Yeah, we hate each other.
We only meet once a week because we have to do this.
I bought Jeff lunch today to make him pretend he likes me for the show.
Well, yeah. Well, sometimes we meet twice a week when we have to interview Cody Rhodes, friend of the show.
Wow, we're gonna name drop the whole episode, aren't we?
We were friends that
episode.
We were the three best friends that day.
Now, I would say that Cole stays. I mean, I don't think there's any reason for him to leave for AEW right now. Like you said, he's top of his brand. There's no reason for him to go now. You know, you can be the big fish in the one pond, or you can be amongst others. You know, like I would stay.
I would, if he's not happy with his current situation or creative freedom or whatever excuses they give when they leave companies and go to another, that would be the only reason to leave. But how are you not happy when you're on top?
Right. Exactly. When he's one of the biggest draws they have. Yeah.
So are you saying that he should show loyalty to the brand that made him?
No.
Or that he should use the talents and whatever that he has brought to that company and apply them somewhere else if he feels better there?
The latter. But if they tell him, hey, you resign, we'll call you up, I would bolt. Don't get called up. Stay at NXT. Because if you go to Raw or SmackDown, they're not going to use you right.
Well, and then his build doesn't play well with the boys on the Raw and SmackDown sheets.
No,
I mean, he's smaller than their people competing for the Intercontinental Championship, let alone Heavyweight Championship.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, there's no real reason for him to, feel loyalty to them. But there's also, I mean, is there a reason he would want to leave? If he's enjoying what he's doing, if he's enjoying being top bill, why would you go? Not saying he's going to just fall among the wayside in AEW. Obviously, they'll use him. They're smart like that. But they got a bunch of talent at AEW. That they're
and
top
that's what I was going to say. He may think going to AEW is the better call, but is there something there for him?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and who knows what his girl's telling him, or how the company is, if it's run differently. You know, there could be things behind the scenes that he doesn't like that we don't know about, and you go somewhere else thinking the grass is greener. Who knows?
Who knows? I just always curious about that. Like everybody says, oh, you know, Rusev leaves, and they're like, oh, he'll go to AEW. But AEW has plenty of talent. And does Russo want to even go there?
Right. Does he want to go there, and do they want him? You can't make that assumption, but then, of course, we all jump to conclusions like that, and then a lot of times they end up being correct, like Matt Hardy.
No, I mean, we all knew the Revival was going there.
Like Revival, yeah.
Well, that was awesome, but you also have to be careful. You don't want to sign everybody that the other company gets rid of, and then just turn into, oh, here comes, WWE.
Exactly.
Everybody at AEW signed is WWE. We're getting the same crap. So
I mean, that's the whole thing that came out with that giant list that they had when they let go of all those people. All of those people should not be going to AEW.
Oh no!
And like, there's some talent in there, but there is no reason that that entire list should all of a sudden all expect to or deserve to go to AEW. Like, there's other avenues of wrestling they can go for.
And if AEW smart, you hold on. You say, we're not going to sign this person, but let's say somebody big gets injured and they're out for a while. Then they can reach out, hey, Rusev, we have a spot. Do you want to come over?
Yeah.
Like, don't sign them all right away.
Now, I do see...
You see me?
Well, I see you. I see Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins maybe going to AEW. They've been teasing. Like today, I saw that, what's his name? Matt Cardona, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Zack Ryder put out there when Cody opened the Open Challenge. He put Open Challenge and then big eyes.
Interesting.
So is that foreshadowing? Is that something? Oh my God, Jeff's got Corona.
Oh no.
With all the dust of where we're at.
Just like my beloved Jughead in the movie he made 2 summers ago. Not only 5 feet, we're going 8 feet apart.
Look at those references. I love it.
Everything ties back to what I love.
Of course, as it should, which is wrestling and Riverdale. And yourself.
Yeah. So I'm a 13-year-old child.
I did enjoy on these past 2 weeks. I enjoy the new Yimitless of Mia Yim and Keith Lee together. I kind of enjoy that combination. I think that's a good little combination they got going.
I like that a lot. One of the things we're not talking about is apparently WWE and the NHL have gotten together and decided hockey glass is the way to keep it safe.
That is...
It's a way to keep the talent from leaving to go to AEW.
I mean, we've discussed from the very beginning how much better AEW is doing at this with having people in the crowd and stuff like that. I don't know why it took so long for WWE to do this as well.
So my favorite thing about this whole sectioning off the ring in the crowd is they literally had the talent from the Performance Center as the crowd, quote unquote. And in the beginning, they were into it. By the end, half of them had left. The ones that had stayed were literally standing there with their arms crossed, kind of looking at their watches going, is this over? Because I got to go.
That's because they tape like freaking 8 shows in a row.
I know, but this was just the one show that they taped. Now they're going to bring them back for another show? It's not going to happen, man.
They taped a bunch of shows that day.
No, you see, never mind. Never mind, Jeff. What I'm trying to say is if they tape the crowd for that one show, then they bring in different performers for another show, wouldn't they change the crowd out?
No, because WWE's dumb.
You also had the fact that those guys had to stand for 3+ hours. Nobody's going to want to do that.
A bathroom break?
Yeah, you would think so.
Did they have stadium nachos?
No, I read
definitely
that they were able to use the restroom. They had breaks, and during breaks they brought chairs out for them to sit in. But when they went back to taping, they took the chairs away. They had to stand the whole time. That's
Why
what
would
they
they
did.
socially separate them and let them stand?
Because they're dumb.
Oh, God.
AEW does it much better. The crowd gets involved. You hear them cheering. Sometimes they get involved wrestlers. Like it's much better.
All right. Craig, since you muted this out, I was trying to get your attention and say, I figured out that you, me, and Jeff are like best friends.
Of course we are. Because we all know that Jeff is Orange Cassidy. I mean, that's 100% true. Because he's smug and doesn't care about what's going on.
That is 100% true. I don't care about any of it.
So then what does that do with us,
Orange
John?
Cassidy. That would make you Chucky T because you're much more outgoing. And since I'm the only one with hair in the group, I would obviously be Trent.
Obviously.
I have hair.
Do you? Do you, though?
I have hair. I don't have as much in, but I have hair.
That's
Where
not hair.
you have no hair.
We're best friends.
Oh, yeah.
So Jeff would obviously be the Orange Cassidy of the group.
Right, of course.
Yeah, because I'm the smug one that doesn't care.
Right.
Well, yeah, obviously, we all know that. If I am therefore the Chuck T, the Chuck Taylor, one...
Hey, Craig.
Yes.
Hey, Craig.
Mm-hmm.
Balin just hung up. He was trying to turn the camera off and he hung up. So read the call.
Old people, old people.
Hello?
Hey, you're
there we
back.
go.
You're
Now
back.
turn your camera off, not your
I
phone.
did. I fat thumbed it.
Oh, so Jeff is Orange Cassidy of the group. That's
Yes.
where we stop. So therefore, I would obviously be the Chuck T, the Chuck Taylor one, because I love those shoes. Specifically the red ones, I think were my favorite. But also, I think because I just have that personality. And John, as we discussed in our pre-show meetings, you have hair, so therefore you have to be Trent.
Yeah. And pretty much the most attractive of the group.
Come
Wait,
on,
we had a pre-show meeting?
we did. We didn't tell you about it.
What the hell?
You were there in spirit, Jeff.
Right.
Oh,
We
God,
actually.
I hate you too.
Well, every time we start something, you just ask questions about it and how it actually works, Orange Cassidy, so we figured it's just easier to not have you there.
How great was that ladder match when he came out and
Wait,
stood
are
on
we
the ladder?
officially jumping from WWE onto AEW?
No, we're jumping from Orange Cassidy to what he did because it was fun.
It was pretty funny. It was the greatest.
All right.
It was the greatest.
Let's get a lowdown on some of our favorite wrestlers from WWE. Then we can focus in on AEW.
How did you guys feel about MVP and Lashley going against the Street Profits? Which all was a ruse just to have Drew McIntyre come out, obviously, and beat them up. But
It was that, and it was to give credence to the Lashley MVP thing. This is going to be a long-term thing with MVP. They're making him like a manager where he's going to take a bunch of B-listers and bring them up. Lashley's going to be his biggest one.
So, I mean, I enjoy if this is what's going to happen, that they just sort of push Lana out. But the Lana freaking out backstage sort of thing is just weird.
Oh, my favorite bit this week was between him and MVP and Lana, where she's like, "We need to talk," and he's like, "No, we don't.
Yeah.
And my business is with your husband, not you."
Right, exactly.
She's like, "No, we need to talk," and he's like, "Nah," and dips out.
Now, I wonder what her contract situation is like. I mean, being the fact that Rusev is gone, and if he does decide to go somewhere, not that there aren't, obviously, as we've already discussed, couples that are on both brands, but, I mean, if Rusev ends up going to AEW or somewhere else, is Lana just going to stay in WWE till her contract's done? Is she you think she'll renew it? Like, I mean, her storylines, in my opinion, haven't been great. So it's not like she's doing the best thing there.
If they even offer, she needs to sign back with them because no one else is going to sign.
All I'm going to say
is a good point. That is a good point.
Look at the image that Lana portrays. She is an attractive blonde, and what does Vince like?
Mm-hmm. Very true.
He thinks this stuff with her between her and Lashley is good. That's a good story, and people want it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? She's coming out in another movie. Maybe she's good. And she can just switch to acting.
I think, what is it, on Amazon? Something?
No, I don't remember.
I don't know. We might have to watch it for the show.
There's a movie out there where somebody's snorting coke off her chest.
Like a new movie?
Okay.
No. She was like in some B-grade movie, and
Because I know it wasn't
the
Pitch
scene
Perfect.
was her boyfriend was snorting cocaine off of.
Was that Pitch Perfect 1 or 2?
I don't know. I think it was like Pitch Perfect, the porn adaptation.
Got it. Pitched a perfect tent?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, got it. Perfect. So we had that going on. We have now fully have the Monday Night Messiah and his disciples of Murphy
That's
and
what
Austin
I wanted to
Theory.
get to. I like this. This is getting better.
I agree. I didn't enjoy it at the beginning, but I'm enjoying it as weeks go on so far.
I like that he's getting more people in his group.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's the thing. Rollins says he would like to have even more. He wants like a stable.
Stable
Are they-
four.
Would they give him 12? So he has
I don't
12
know, but
apostles?
that'd be kind of fun being so sacrilegious.
It would, I mean, they already went that far. Might as well keep going with it.
And then, of course, you get the one who's going to be Judas and sell him out down the river.
I really hope it would be Murphy in the end. Obviously,
Nah, because if we're looking at the Jesus angle, if he's Jeebus, then Peter and Paul, the two brothers, his right-hand man, that would be Austin and Murphy.
Got it. What number was Judas?
I don't know when he came into the line.
We should really get ourselves an apostle timeline next time we record, for as many times as we bring this up.
Jeff, you want to do that?
Get on that. Orange.
Nah.
Yeah.
Good.
But yes, I'm really enjoying that
Hey,
angle.
Craig, can you do that for me?
Yeah, I'm on.
How would one go about looking something up on Google?
I don't know. It's hard to do.
Okay.
What other interesting things are happening in the world of WWE? We have their Backlash event is going to be their next big thing. So we already discussed. We have McIntyre and
Is that in
Lashley.
a couple weeks?
I think 2 weeks.
It's coming
Yeah,
around
in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's coming around the corner. It's sometime June. I know the
So we
NXT
have-
Takeover is June 7th. So I think
We
maybe
have
it's the
the
weekend after that.
McIntyre-Lashley feud.
We have.
I gotta say, McIntyre in this time is an entertaining champ.
Oh, I'm loving it, and the fact that he can kip up in dress shoes,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Not
That's
even the
amazing.
Miz can do that.
Exactly. I don't even think John Morrison can do that. And
John Morrison can do anything.
he's a parkour champion.
Johnny Drip Drip is the man.
The Mayans. We have Nia Jax versus Asuka.
Who cares?
Yeah, no, really, right? Nobody, right?
Who cares?
Now-
Like, if you listen to our song challenge,
Which should be coming out in a
which-
couple days, yes.
yeah, which we're going to drop an episode all about just that, you'll hear that Songs That Make Us Sad was Nia Jax's theme song, because not that we don't like her as a wrestler or whatever, we're not casting shame, it's just that she's unsafe and she's hurt so many other people that when she comes in the ring, we're like, somebody's going to get hurt. And I'm afraid this time it's going to be Asuka.
Yeah, because I don't know, it would make more sense to have Asuka get a little bit of a longer reign in this than to lose it immediately to Nia. There is
Makes
no
no
reason that
sense at all.
Jax should get this. Not saying that she won't, but in my opinion, there's no reason she should get it. Not yet.
Well, the one time she had it, it wasn't a nice reign. There wasn't any fun in it. They
Exactly.
couldn't write any good storyline for her. Asuka in and of herself just being crazy makes it good.
Makes it fun. Exactly.
Yeah.
Which means
Yeah.
they will kill it.
Yeah, exactly. You're right, Jeff.
It's fun, so they will change it.
So they will change it and destroy it. I can't. What else is happening in the world of WWE that any of us care about?
AJ was traded back to SmackDown.
Did that matter?
No, but that happened.
I think
He
we
did-
have the no border rules again, where any wrestler can wrestle anyone on any show. So it
They're
doesn't
getting
really
that way,
matter.
but AJ did like an interview or said there's something online about he's happy about going to SmackDown because now it gets his mind off of Raw and losing his two tag partners. Like
That would
that
make sense.
really affected him. So
Mhm.
he's glad to be going away from there in that atmosphere.
I can see that. And yeah, they have their new. It's not wild card rule this time. It's like brand open challenge or something like that. Like three times a year, any person can go.
4 times.
4 times. This is so dumb.
4 times one wrestler from one show can go to another show, and vice versa.
Charlotte's used hers up already.
But here's the thing. Behind closed doors, Fox has come to WWE and said, hey, listen, the product you're giving us on Friday nights, nobody likes it. We got to do something. WWE's answer was, okay, we'll take the faces that people like on Monday nights and put them on your show too somehow.
That's why Corbin ended up on there.
Well, as much as you may not like Corbin, you got to admit that character is the perfect heel.
And people like them. Mainly Vince.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just saying, Corbin makes the perfect heel. He doesn't talk well on the mic, so you hate it when you have to listen to him. He's in the ring and just slimy and whatever. But I mean, take it for what it is, just the character.
Yeah.
You got to admit, Corbin is a
For the
good,
amount
bad
of people
person.
for the amount of people that don't like Corbin, there's probably equally the same amount that like him. So,
But I mean, it's like our appreciation of Lashley. We don't appreciate him in the ring. We don't appreciate his promos or what have you. But there are people out there that love him.
I do have to ask, I've been thinking about this with the whole thing with Lana, with MVP, with all that. Is Lashley that bad on the mic that he always needs somebody to talk for him? Because I was trying to remember the whole thing with him and Sami Zayn. He wasn't great, but he wasn't horrible. That he needed someone to talk for him.
I just don't think he's that creative of a guy. He lifts weights and he wants to wrestle. So I don't think he's that creative of a guy.
That could be
so
it.
I think when WWE came out and said, okay, hey, listen, you show up, you give us some good matches in the ring, and we'll put somebody in there to build them up. It's kind of like Lesnar.
That's true. I mean, yeah.
Lesnar doesn't want to have to act. He just wants to go in there and fight.
Yeah, that's true. That's one of the few times anyone will ever compare Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Saying.
So, because I know that we always talk about the Wednesday night wars and how NXT and AEW go against each other.
It's just one war, Craig.
It's just one of the wars.
There's not multiple wars going on every Wednesday night.
Wednesday night wars is...
It's been multiple wars.
Now I know this week was the first time that Raw dipped under 2 million in their viewers in a very long time.
Yeah.
So
But they're also producing a crap product right now.
Exactly. And I know we've discussed
why do you have the Street Profits playing golf?
Yes.
With the Viking Raiders.
But then they did mini golf. They had to go to mini golf because they got kicked off.
I'm just saying you totally diminished two badass teams.
Yes.
I like the axe throwing, but other than that, I don't care.
But even that depreciates the Viking Raiders.
And that's the thing. The Street Profits can do this. So Street Profits can be a legit wrestling team, and they already in their shtick have some comedy, have some fun. So this kind of can work for them. The Viking Raiders, this isn't part of their shtick. It never was. They were war, like killers. And now you're having them play basketball and play mini golf. And
I just remember them at NXT War Games, and I thought, oh, God, they're so incredible. And then I watched them play basketball and throw axes and can't play golf. And
what's the next thing they're doing? Bowling?
Bowling is going to be next week, yes. Bowling.
That's going to be interesting.
Is it?
Which one is going to slide down the lane?
Ooh, that's definitely going to happen.
Somebody's going to fall and slip and slide down the lane.
Definitely going to happen. I think it would be more fun if the Street Profits just got straight up drunk during it.
They might. I think the Raiders will take board and just throw them and slide them down.
That could happen. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they're building up a friendship now. Have you noticed?
It's so dumb.
In their competition to beat each other, they're becoming buddies. It's all right, fam. I got you.
We're buddies.
All right, I think end all be all for our whole conversation on the WWE. You can tell that there's just a sense of melancholy and hopelessness in our voices and pretty much all the other shows that you hear. We're all kind of just here. Like, if I said Bailey, are you excited? You know?
Even Jeff isn't that excited when he hears that name.
No, not right now.
No, because
it's crap. Nothing. It sucks.
It does.
There's no story. I mean, outside of maybe a few things in NXT, but there's nothing really with WWE that I can sit and go, I'm into this.
Yep. Nope, not currently.
Which is why I think the news that's come out recently that one Matt Riddle, the bro, getting moved up to SmackDown. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. I don't know anymore.
The Wrestling Life said it better, said it the best when they said they just can't wait to see Matt Riddle and Shorty G losing it out to everybody.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
you call up your best talents from NXT and then bury them on those cards.
Bury them. I mean, we won't even get into EC3, who was so buried he barely popped his head up. I don't even think he had a match.
Yeah, but Ricochet, he's been buried.
Yep.
He had a little glimmer of hope.
Cedric Alexander
really hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
But then you have somebody like Alex Garza.
Right. Angel Garza,
he's doing well. Mm-hmm. Or Angel Garza. Yeah. And even Andrade has come up and done well.
Yeah.
So some of them.
It's
But, I mean, I think I agree with you, Jeff, where it's the few are far outweighed by the many that just came up and got buried.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I worry about for Riddle, because I think Riddle's very good. I think he's very entertaining. I think he does great on NXT. I mean, giving him more people to wrestle and some bigger guys to wrestle, I think it does have some potential, because he can do that. He can go up against a Bobby Lashley and make it seem legitimate. You know, like...
But he's not. They're going to put him up against AJ,
Yeah.
and he's going to lose.
Exactly. Or Corbin or
Are
something.
we done talking about WWE? Can we move on?
Jeff just wants to talk about friend of the show, Cody Rhodes.
I mean, maybe.
I want to talk about the whole show because Double or Nothing was a great show.
It was a great show. So I think this is how we do it. We give our overview impressions of it. We talk about Lance and Cody. We'll give people the taste of the interview, and then we'll get into the rest of Double or Nothing. Because I think there's a lot to talk about. But I think I agree with you guys. Overall, I loved it. I love Double or Nothing. I think it was so much. Every single match was at minimum, entertaining, if not pretty great.
I don't think any of the matches were horrible.
No.
And all of the matches held my interest. The whole show was just, it was put on perfectly for the time we're in.
Yeah. Even matches that I had very little excitement for. The Rose belt match, I didn't care that much about it, but I was enthralled watching it the whole time. I would think it was one of her best matches she's had.
Yeah.
I mean, without a doubt. But let's get to our good friend. The inaugural TNT Championship belt presented by one Mike Tyson. Cody Rhodes versus Lance Archer. What did we think of the match, boys?
My impressions of that match are, once again, it is a textbook match. They built the story up before. It didn't take that much. Lance is the bad guy. Cody's the good guy. We're going to have this match, and it's going to be for this prize.
Yeah.
Even if there was no belt involved, I would still be fully vested in that match.
No, I mean, and I think what they did last week with the Arn and Jake the Snake table, and we've talked about it in the last episode, I think that did a great job of setting up a match, without even having the wrestlers there. That was probably one of the most interesting things I've seen done in a build-up to a big match on any wrestling product.
That was straight class.
Yeah.
That was one of those perfectly done.
And it just made you more invested. Yeah.
The match actually played up to the expectations. Lance Archer, being this much bigger competitor, was throwing Cody around, and the only thing that kept Cody in the game was heart and his speed.
Right,
and they played to those strengths.
Exactly. You showed that he had the will, he had the drive to just keep going, keep standing up every time he falls down, get back up. He kept doing that, and that's what made you, even throughout the match, whether you were a fan of Cody, a fan of Lance, whatever it was, you started to push for Cody. And being even if whether he was the underdog or not, however you want to look at it, you just started to be you wanted him to win because he wouldn't give up. Like we've said before, John, great storytelling. That's pretty much what it is.
And that's what we want in our wrestling. We want more story. I want the fake unbelievable to feel believable.
Yeah. And I think they did a great job. I think
very deep.
It is, isn't it? It's almost like John knows what he's talking about every 4 days.
Meh, a little bit.
Sometimes. Plus,
the best part is people can't see me sitting here picking the fuzz out of my navel when I say all these fancy words.
Of course. Or the chips out of your beard.
Ooh, good call. I got to clean that next.
Yeah. Now, and I know we talked about it, as you'll soon hear in this interview, but the callback moves that Cody did, and and then especially doing the DDT in front of Jake. And then you had Lance Archer do a spine buster
in front of Arn.
I mean, those were great. I just love the fact that he did that. I think it made it so much more fun.
Yeah. But it was like giving something back to the fans that they got something out of too. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like when you watch the match between the Inner Circle and the Elite. They were having fun doing all these things, but they realized that we, the fans, were going to go on that ride with them.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So that's where I think AEW really wins the whole war, or whatever you want to say. AEW takes its fans on a ride with them, where WWE just throws something in front of you and say, you'll take it.
Yep. And that is why we knew we had to interview friend of the show. One American Nightmare himself, Cody Rhodes, contacted us said he wanted to be on the show. We said, we don't know if we can get you in, Cody. We're pretty busy. There's a whole quarantine thing. It's hard enough for us three to get together and record anyway. Getting a fourth person in, I don't know if we can handle that. But, he kept begging and kept texting.
Craig, you're so full of shit.
Mm-hmm. What?
We were presented the opportunity to do an interview with Cody, and we acted like little children. Where we were like, sure, we would love to do that, as we are jumping around, throwing air punches, just,
John wet himself.
I wet myself from my eyes and my pants parts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's called incontinence, Jeff, for an old man.
It was that damn good. So here it is, folks. The exclusive premiere of your boys, the Triad from T3 Takedown on T3 Network, interviewing TNT Champion, Cody Rhodes. Thanks again for joining us, folks, on T3 Takedown. We are here with the Executive Vice President of AEW Wrestling. We're here with the inaugural TNT Champion himself, the American Nightmare, Mr. Cody Rhodes. Welcome to Takedown. We're so glad you could be here.
Thank you guys very, very much. I'm glad to be here.
So obviously we all watched Double or Nothing on Saturday. It was insane. You did an amazing job there. How did it feel to actually be in there and be that inaugural TNT Champion? I mean, that's a huge deal. Your second belt in AEW, that's a big thing.
Yeah, I think we've been presented with such a unique moment, whereas the presenting network, I can't recall that ever happening in wrestling, where the network themselves wanted to have a belt that represented them, and they wanted to have their championship. Usually comes in-house from the creative minds at the company itself, and for them to want it hopefully showed their commitment to us, our commitment to them, and like you said, to be the first ever with a title in wrestling, that's not a 10-year stat. That's a unique, specific stat that I have to my name that means the world. I'm still very much adrenaline through the roof from Saturday itself. I stayed up that night till the sun came up just because giddy over the whole show, giddy over being able to do this during these times, and giddy over the results.
We really appreciated the fact that it was such an incredible show. We realized that it's a new world in wrestling right now because there are no crowds there. But AEW seems to be handling that with an expert sense of ease. The fan base is watching. How do you feel?
Well, this is a period of time as a big wrestling fan myself. And Frankie Kazarian said this to me the other night, and it was really special. He said, this will be a period of time that wrestling will kind of want to forget, but they won't be able to forget it because of some of the things that have been presented to them. And that's the ultimate praise. It really is. We have no audience in we have no audience in the arenas, and what we do in the ring depends so greatly upon that in-arena audience. So to be able to engage specifically the viewer at home, because they're still there, they're sitting on the couch, a dad and son, a family watching wrestling, and you've got that obligation to them to be able to not get their feedback, but think and speculate and guess that you're doing a good job and you're doing it correctly, and then to kind of find out you nailed it. It is really, really great. But it's all in the follow-up. We've been able, since the beginning of the pandemic, to have these safe, responsible productions. Double or Nothing was absolutely gangbusters. Now what we do on Dynamite is key.
We appreciate the fact that we get to watch AEW Dynamite on TNT every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. What we also appreciated in your match was all the callbacks that you guys gave us, that you and Lance Archer gave us during what is obviously a textbook match. You told a great story. But what was it like to bring back one of your favorite moves like the Stinger Splash, or to pay homage to your father and your brother? I mean, that was just amazing to us as fans.
Well, every match I think about doing a Stinger Splash, and nearly 99.9% of the time, I don't. This just felt like the right move. Something about Lance and the giant super heavyweight that he is, it gives me those kind of Big Van Vader vibes, and that was some of my favorite stuff watching ever, was watching the Stinger and Vader go toe-to-toe. I was always terrified for Sting, and his combination of heavyweight power but light heavyweight agility with the drop kick and the dive and the things he could do. That was really fun. And to be able anytime to hit a flip-flop and fly, even though Colt Cabana does a better one, it's still within my rights to do it. To be able to do it, and to be able to do Dustin's Final Reckoning or Final Cut, whatever he's calling it this week, that's a really tough type of suplex to execute, and to get it on a guy that's nearly 7 feet tall. My back certainly didn't feel great the next day, but my heart was full, so I was glad.
It's fine. That's what ibuprofen is for. Now, doing things like doing the DDT directly in front of Jake the Snake, I mean, that alone had to be an amazing feeling.
Well, Jake is, you know who he is. You look at him, and then when he first came out in Salt Lake, or in Denver, when he first came out and the crowd responds so well, they respect him so much, and they love him as a legend. But I think Arn's kind of been one of the first to pinpoint the fact that, like, Jake is still this skeezy, sleazy SOB like no other. And everything he did with putting the snake on Brandy, it was poetic justice. It was very apropos. And I know how to do a DDT. We all know how to do a DDT. We watched Jake do it. We watched plenty of people do it. Arn do it. I ended up getting a receipt of my own with the biggest spine buster you could possibly take.
Yeah, that was huge.
For those few seconds, I felt good about that DDT.
Unbelievable.
I got a question, Cody. We've seen a lot of things online recently. Tyson's posting some videos of the things he's doing at his age. Can you tell us, is he in person as scary as we think?
I mean, he's Mike Tyson. He has the stopping power that no other human being on earth has ever had, with knockout power. I did not need to be particularly scared of Mike because he was so excited to see Arn Anderson that it made the whole experience. He was a very, very sweet and professional person, and understood everything that was asked of him, and really fun to be around. He's been a big fan of AEW, but I really enjoyed. He has a love for the legendary wrestling. You can tell he watched a lot of Crockett stuff, a lot of Florida stuff. But when he saw Arn, his eyes got big, and they had a nice moment. And it's one of those moments for me where, as much as I think I'm a hot shot, Arn Anderson is Arn Anderson, and it's nice to see him get that respect like that. It was really touching. There's a lot of pictures of them from that day. It was cool to see.
Awesome.
Hey, Arn is one of my all-time favorites. I wanted to flip it a little bit on you. You brought up your wife, Brandy. We feel that she is an icon in wrestling, and especially in female wrestling. We've been following along with AEW Heels. Is there anything you can give us a little bit on that? I mean, it just looks like an amazing program.
Yeah, what she's doing with Heels is one of her babies, and as chief brand officer, she's taken almost like a project manager, a Culture City, and she wanted to make us the first sensory inclusive wrestling show, and now she's on the board with KC, and that's wonderful. And that project, she really nurtures and cultivates. This was just something that came to her in terms of the women's fan base. We look at the data about women watching the show, and women and the discourse online about the show, and the women's fan base about women's wrestling, or about really wrestling in general. It's currently pretty freeform, but they've got a real structured system. They started with the Zoom party. There's going to be discounts on merch. There's going to be announcements made specifically for Heels relating to women's wrestling, perhaps signings announced on there. The sky's really the limit with that project, and I'm so proud of her because she came up with it on her own, and she went out and did it. And that's what we like here, people who make decisions.
Oh, yeah, it's an amazing program without a doubt. Now, we know you're a busy man, Cody. We know you got a lot of these to do. We thank you very much for joining us. We just have to ask one last question, which is very important, which is, how do you feel about the new Star Trek series, Strange New Worlds, that is coming? And are you as excited for it as we are?
I'm very. I mean, there's not a Trek I don't enjoy. I'm very, very into everything that's going on with CBS All Access. Particularly, I was wearing my Picard sweatshirt around all weekend. It's in every back, house picture we have. I'm very into what's going on. This is a golden age for Trek fans. We had the 90s, which I didn't watch then. I caught up on everything with Netflix. Now we're back in a golden age with multiple shows happening and people talking about them. We got to spread the word because we got to keep them alive. So as a fellow Trekkie and a new Trekkie at that, let's go. Let's boldly go.
Completely agree, sir. Thank you so much for joining us again, folks. You can check out AEW Dynamite on TNT every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. And we appreciate you for being here, Cody. Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, champ.
Thank you so much.
There it is, folks. The professionals, the big-time podcasters, the Triad, interviewing Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, so the behind kayfabe stuff with that whole interview is we were part of an interview tour that he was doing. We got X amount of minutes with him. And we were just thrown in a mix with a bunch of other broadcasters. So when it was our turn, we wanted to really play up to We Know Wrestling. And he appreciated it. I think you can see he appreciated the fact that we knew him and we knew his brand.
He did. And we got a little extra time with him because of that. Which I think is good. And we do have to thank DCW 50, Washington's DC CW network, because they were the ones who helped us get that going. So we should throw them some love as well.
Yes, absolutely.
So, and I think it's going to go on their Facebook and their YouTube and their webpage. So, you can find this video interview there as well as on our own YouTube channel that you can follow, T3 Network. Just look us up on YouTube and you'll see us on there.
So, with all that being said, let's get back into Double or Nothing. Let's break down a few of the matches. Gentlemen, we all talked about it. How awesome is Chris Statlander?
Probably the new favorite right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say she's definitely one of the top people in that entire company that I think any of us care about.
I am happy that they gave the belt to Sheeta.
Yes.
And I think that match earned it for her because, in my opinion, she was fun to watch, but she was fun to watch. That match against Nyla Rose really sold her to me as she could be a champion. And now I'm excited to watch her. But what I keep thinking when I come to the Women's Championship is Statlander to me is the standout.
She eventually will get that belt.
Oh, yeah. I definitely see it happening. Probably, I think they're going to give her a little more time with some other wrestlers within there, but especially now with Britt Baker being out, I think this is time for Statlander to come up.
It'll take a little time, but Statlander will end up getting it. Maybe Britt will come back, and then the two of them can have a little
Exactly.
And how incredible was it for Ford?
Penelope Ford.
Thank you. I kept wanting to say Percy Ford for some reason. And anyway,
Percy Ford, I don't know who that is. You're just making people up.
I don't either. But Penelope Ford to step up because she was supposed to wrestle Britt Baker.
Right, exactly.
But for her to step up and have that type of match, I mean, that's talent on Ford's part.
Yep.
So that tells you what they're working with in AEW. And you can tell that Ford probably was going to have more of a role in the ladder match for the chip.
Agreed, yeah.
But she took one bump and rolled out.
Well, and I think that shows to what AEW can do, because this was, this happened at Dynamite on Wednesday, and come Saturday they were able to make all of these changes, and that shows how good their writing team is, their creative team is, and how good Penelope Ford is, that she's able to sort of switch on that and still put off a really good match that they only had a couple of days to prep for.
Right. And speaking of the ladder match,
we had
how impressed were you guys with this? Because usually these matches, we just look at them like who's going to get lost in the mix.
Right, exactly. And it's usually on the buy-in beforehand, but this time they had the tag team matches on there, and I'm glad they did, because I think this ladder match, it had a lot of interesting parts, like we already mentioned. Orange Cassidy was hilarious.
Yes, he was.
And him asking how this all worked, and then standing on top of the downed ladder and trying to get other people to lift him up.
It's just funny.
It's funny stuff.
It is great. And to have Cage come out and win it, I think great. They're going to build him up into this beast, and then are they going to feed Moxley to him, or
I don't know if Mox will drop the belt right away.
No, I think Moxley makes a great champ in and of the fact that he is charismatic, fun to watch in the ring, high energy, can cut great promos. I think he is on par with Jericho when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, to me, one of the least entertaining matches of the night, which is still, as we said, still a pretty great match, was the Brody Lee Moxley one. I think a Moxley Cage one would be much more interesting whenever that eventually happens.
Well, I think with the Moxley Brody Lee match, the ending was pretty cool.
Yes,
where he puts him through the floor.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that was very cool.
But I mean, that was pretty cool. But I think the problem we had is, I think Moxley sold better than Brody, and I don't think Brody knows how. Like, I asked you guys the question, and I'll put it on the show. Who's doing the cult leader better? Is it Seth Rollins or Brody Lee?
Well, that's the thing. I think your acting style, I think, is just better from Seth Rollins.
Yes.
I think he's doing it. And then I think that leads into, just like you said, John, Seth Rollins sells stuff better than Brody Lee, Luke Harper ever did. I mean, Luke Harper didn't get beat up that much, so he didn't sell a lot. He never really had to. The Bludgeoning Brothers weren't getting taken down.
John and I talked, and Seth Rollins is building his from the ground up, where the Dark Order was there.
True.
And it was like, oh, hey, who's good? Who's coming in to be our leader?
That's
and
true.
Brody Lee showed up. He really hasn't. He's just like, yeah, I'm going to talk to him. You pick him.
Though I do enjoy some of his Vince stick, where he's like sitting there, eating steak and talking about such good shit and all that.
No, I mean, I get the little jibes at Vince, but I don't think he's established that character of Brody Lee very well. I don't feel as though he is, like Jeff said, a true cult leader or a true leader of a heel-esque group. I don't think he's made it. But, like, if I think Seth Rollins is a heel and believes in his own, he's the Messiah kind of thing, sure, why not? He's selling it to me as a character. So I think that's what really detracted me from the Moxley-Brody Lee match, was just I didn't feel the character.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep,
exactly.
I agree.
Unlike something like the MJF Jungle Boy match, who I think the character work they had in there was amazing.
Good match.
Yeah.
I am going to go on record as saying, although this Double or Nothing was one of my favorite pay-per-views, MJF and Jungle Boy, that match they put down is one of my favorite all-time matches.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It was the perfect blend of story, character, ring ability, and talent.
Yes.
It was... They said it, and I'm just going to steal the line. It was a straight-up clinic from two kids that had 9 years combined.
Yeah, combined. How insane is that? And they put on a match that good, probably one of the top of the night, like you said.
And I would put MJF up against anybody in WWE in promos, and he would slay them.
Oh yes.
Straight on the mic.
100%.
Great
100%.
on the mic.
Which is very impressive because, they had at the Performance Center, obviously they had Dusty there helping with promo work. They had a lot of former WWE guys there helping with promo work. I don't know what AEW has in their center, and they're sort of up and coming to help somebody like MJF get as good as he is. But you look back at past videos, he's always been that pretty good.
I'm sure they have somebody there to help. Something with.
I mean, you got Jake the Snake and Arn Anderson there, so.
Yeah, but I'm sure they hire acting coaches and that kind of stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a natural ability to deliver, and MJF obviously has it.
Yeah.
Just like Cody does, just like Chris Jericho does, just like Moxley does.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They all have a natural ability to do that.
Speaking of MJF, you know what I want?
What?
I want the TNT belt with the Burberry leather.
That did look good.
Twitter. Oh, that did
look good. I also enjoy his at one point where he had the Burberry mask.
Oh yes.
We need to make ourselves some of those.
I want to let you know I may have ordered a hot pink shirt that says I'm better than you, and you know it.
Of course you did.
From Wrestling Teeth.
Of course you did. Good job. Good job.
I had to. It was MJF. I don't have a shirt of his.
So while I enjoyed that match immensely, and I do think it's definitely top there, to me, the Stadium Stampede just can't be topped. Like that shows you something that how AEW can think outside of the box, do something different when they can't have fans, and really, really hit it off.
It was great from the Hangman on the horse.
Yes.
Then at the bar, and then the whole Matt Hardy thing in the pool.
Yep.
Like overall, that whole thing was awesome.
I mean, when you had the not Pride and Prejudice, whatever they're called, Pride and Powerful.
Pride and Powerful.
When you had them where it looked like they could read the stats on the side, like that was hilarious.
My favorite is when he gets in the pool and he goes, "I can't swim."
Yeah.
No, what I really like about that match is it was something completely different than a standard wrestling match. It said the ring's going to be at the 50-yard line. Did they spend any time in the ring at all?
No.
And that's what I love. It's like it was a wrestling match, but it was more like we're going to have a story of mayhem throughout the stadium.
Yeah, and I think the way that they did it throughout the entire stadium made it funny. I think this did an amazing job of having Chris Jericho shine at what like his actual talent is with a lot of this stuff. Him wanting to review the play with Aubrey Edwards about the count, and they go back and like watch a recap. That was hilarious. Him getting rolled over with the line marker, so he had a line just down the middle of his body. Like, I mean, that was hilarious stuff. Hilarious.
This is what WWE doesn't do. They don't give us any comedy. And I'm not saying wrestling needs to be funny.
Wait,
but
what about Street Profits?
They had mini golf, Jeff.
Hey, you get some up. Okay.
There was axe throwing, Jeff.
The Street Profits. The Street Profits themselves.
Sweet Profits.
They've given some funny bits, which I think is why people like them.
Jeff thinks they're called the Sweet Puppets.
The Sweet Puppets. Sweet Puppets.
AEW's given us these, especially with the Inner Circle. They've always given us from the get-go this comedic effect or this little bit of comedy in their shticks, and we all like it.
I go back to what I said earlier, where AEW, we feel like we are along for the ride and enjoying it just as much as they are.
Yeah.
WWE is we are going to make what we want to do, and like it or not, it's all you got.
Right. You're going to enjoy it because we think it's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The big problem here is Vince needs to let go.
Yep. Which should pretty much be the theme of this show. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was friend of the show, Cody Rhodes.
Oh, no, I just meant our entire show in general.
Oh. No, I mean,
we've been saying that.
We keep going back and forth to it. It's like something needs to breathe life back into the WWE. We hoped when AEW kicked off, they would get the hint and all that. You would think with them losing ratings on a continual basis and viewers on a continual basis that they would be able to find new life there. You would think that in this time where we're having all the corona-laden and social distancing and all that actually gave them a springboard to do something even better. I think AEW took their product and said, hey, we can still do this in a good way. But it's because they wanted to do something. It's not because they had somebody paying them to do it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, it does.
Yes, it seems like most of the WWE wrestlers are just there because they have to be and get paid.
Yeah.
Where the AEW wrestlers
they're just going through the motions.
Actually enjoying all this.
Yep.
Well, and I think the big thing is AEW allows the wrestlers to develop their character.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's a huge part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of the big buy-ins for the wrestlers that want to go to AEW is because they have the freedom to develop their own people.
Yeah, I mean, you hear any of those interviews with Moxley. Yeah, exactly. That's why Revival went there. That's why Moxley went there. Like, that's even why Brody Lee said he went there. It was because he wanted more, input into that creative part.
I don't want to be told that I have to speak with a country accent. I want to do what I want.
Exactly. Now we had our Pick'em Challenge, boys, for Double or Nothing.
And I won.
No. We did have the bonus question this time of who was going to be that surprise entrance, and you got to give credit to Alleged. They actually chose Brian Cage. So they actually got some of those bonus points. They're the only ones that chose that were right. Because me and you, John, both chose Pac coming in.
Remember,
and
we
Jeff,
all picked separately. There were 4 of them that made that up.
That's true. Because of that, I think, especially, Alleged did end up winning the challenge with 24 points out of a possible 29.
They obviously cheated. Being in Ireland, they saw it like 8 hours before us.
Exactly. But I got to give some credit to Legend Killer Colin showing a good show with 23 points, only 1 point out of first place.
Look at my guy.
Look at that little guy. And
remember, he is a past champion.
And we do have to, once again, throw a message to Johnny Cash Money, one of our followers. You can follow him at ROED Show on Twitter, and he only had 7 points. He is not doing well this quarter.
Ooh,
this phase is not. He did not do well in the last one. He did not do well in this one. This is going to be a rough phase for Johnny Cash Money.
You know, he's probably just getting into redeveloping his brand, his person, his character, and I'm just giving him excuses.
That's true. Though I did enjoy the fact that he picked Zack Ryder to come in as his guest pick. I would have enjoyed that as well.
I thought that was kind of a clever pick. I think it's going to happen sometime. I think they're just playing it out for the time being.
Exactly. Especially with knowing Revival was coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, boys. Double or Nothing. Great show. I think their next one is scheduled to be Firefest, which they were going to do in London. But due to all this corona, they are not doing that. So I don't know when or where they're doing it. But it was supposed to be end of June in London. It has now been moved.
There's supposed to be an announcement coming out from Jericho about another cruise as well.
Ooh, that'll be interesting.
Well, I know Fighter Fest is happening because that's when Cage and Mox are supposed to go at it.
That's right, yeah.
I assume they'll probably do it from Daly's Palace or Place or wherever they're at.
Do you think it's a good idea to have the Jericho cruise still happen because there's already so many diseases on that ship that now you're just going to do it with coronavirus at the same time?
I honestly don't know. I just know there's supposed to be some big announcement coming out soon.
Well, until they have an outbreak of STDs, they can keep cruising.
That's true. Keep cruising. Keep it cruising.
Isn't that where most babies come from? Cruise ships?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, at least, I know that there's a lot of semen out there, so.
A lot of semen.
Cruise ships.
On a cruise ship. Semen on a cruise ship.
Semen on a cruise ship. That's what I meant.
Yeah, no.
The wide open water.
Dad joke. That's a rad joke.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh, my God.
You're welcome.
Oh, my God.
All right, boys. I think after this show comes out and premieres on our feed, we're all going to freak out because, once again, we had an interview with friend of the show, Cody Rhodes. We're going to freak out about this forever.
It's something I'm going to tell my kids.
Yeah, and they're not going to care, but you can tell them anyway.
I already shared it with the Legend Killer. He's like, which one are you, Dad?
My daughter was excited. My wife, she was like, okay.
She didn't care. Yeah.
Nope.
But don't forget to follow us. Look for our YouTube channel. We're going to have it on there. T3 Podcast Network. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, T3 Network. On Twitter at T3 Network. And don't forget to go to TikTok as well because we are funny and we're putting funny things on TikTok as I figure out how to use it because I'm a 40-year-old man trying to figure out TikTok. And it's hard
when you figure it out, you need to tell us.
I'll tell you guys, yes.
It's not going to help. I won't know what the hell to do.
Email us, tripletbag@gmail.com, or call us, 202-556-4433. Call us. Let us know what you thought about the Cody interview. Seriously, is there any questions you would have asked? Is there anything you think we should have done? Is there any other AEW wrestlers you want us, or AEW talent in general, you want us to interview? Because I think our big push now is for Ref Aubrey Edwards.
Sure.
I think that's our big push now to interview her.
It'd be good to have an actual ref on the show.
Right, a real ref, not a
Somebody
Jeff
who knows
ref.
what they're doing, not a Jeff.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, we all know you have no idea what you're doing.
Not a Jeff.
We ask him for a decision, and he just sits there.
He just sits there. That's what he does.
He truly is Orange Cassidy.
He really is. He just needs
Jeff,
sunglasses and
I don't know, whatever.
some acid wash jean jacket, and he'd be orange.
You know where you took the job.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to get a shirt of Jeff with the sunglasses.
Definitely.
I'd wear it.
We can totally make that happen. Yeah, I'd wear it all the time.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We should recreate Best Friends with Orange Cassidy picture with the three of us. Get shirts made.
Yeah. And we just flip-flop and see if people can tell the difference.
Yeah.
I mean, I think once me and John are shirtless, we pretty much are going to look just like them.
I look just like Trent.
Right. Exactly. Just like him.
He were older, much fatter, and
less attractive.
Handsomest one in the group. Handsomest one in the group.
What?
Thanks again for joining us, folks. Be sure to follow us on all of your podcast feeds and give us those 5-star ratings everywhere. 5-star ratings, 5 stars reviews. Remember, when we start getting those ratings, when we start getting those voicemails, and when we start building up those Instagram followers, that's when you're going to start seeing videos of us getting chopped. And all we know we want to see is us feeling pain.
Slap.
All right, professional podcasters. It's been a good one.
All right, guys.
All right.
Peace. I'll have to send you guys the video of the once we hung up because it's pretty funny.
We were all like,
we scream. Jeff kind of jumps and punches in the air. We scream about being professionals. It's pretty good.
We sounded professional.
We did. We definitely sounded professional.
I listened back, and because I know me, every time I was going to say something to him, I gushed at the beginning. Yeah. I could hear it. I was like, so a champion. It's not fair. Why did your kid just hit you?
That wasn't my kid. That was my wife that just hit me in the face.
You know who else got hit in the face? Lance Archer by Cody Rhodes, who we interviewed.
Cody Rhodes, friend of the show. That's who also got did some hitting in the face.
I missed it. Hi, Mrs. The Machine. So
he said, "Hi, Mrs. The Machine."
Quarantine, and Craig is recording from his home where he's safe and sound. Jeff and I are kind of socially separated.
Are you in the warehouse of a Staples?
Yeah.
Anyway,
she asked if you guys are in the warehouse of a Staples? Is that where you are right now?
No. We work for Target.
Oh, Target. Yeah. Target.
Oh. It's the red shirts.
Yeah, it's the red shirts. That's why
we're essential employees.
I'm in the corner.
Yeah,
where you belong, Jeff.
Jeff got put in the corner. Hey, Mrs. The Machine, do you know that we interviewed Cody Rhodes on our show?
I did.
We're
only straight ballers can get a get like that.
Sorry.
It's fine. I was just trying to read his mouth.
You were doing a good job.
Awesome. I'm excited. I will actually listen to it.
This episode needs to be good, guys.
Whoa.
This needs to be a good episode, guys.
I can tell you my wife will not listen to it.
No, Carla will not listen to it.
I can tell you my wife doesn't even know my name.
No, because I told her who we interviewed, and she's like,
is it Tito?
Your name is Tito.
Yes. She gets me mixed up with the pool boy and the lawn guys a lot.
Oh, yeah, pool boy, lawn boy's husband. It's all the same.
You're going to have to do a lot of editing.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. The minute I got slapped in the face, I realized that
was awesome.
T3 Podcast Network. Thoughts.
Theories.
Talk.